Well, the surprise of the week probably has to go to Blue Beetle. I still don't want to give it to Blue Beetle, but I'm going to say maybe Blue Beetle. Mark went to see it, and he
I
gave it a 7. So I'm just putting that out there. So
way to spoil my
just
thunder there,
gave it a. You don't actually have to review it now.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
No.
that's it.
Well. Look. To be honest, I really didn't want to go and see Blue Beetle. I'd never heard of the character. After the Flash left a very bad taste in my mouth. All the shenanigans with James Gunn and Pete Seraphine messing around and messing around and messing around and continually reshooting Aquaman, and Batman's in and Batman's out and Batman's in. Oh no, there's no Batman now. All that crap that's going on. I just had absolutely zero interest in this. But Mr. Harlow asked nicely. So, sucked it up and I went. And blow me down, I actually really quite enjoyed it. It's your typical superhero origin film in almost every way narratively it could be. There is a MacGuffin. It is an alien scarab that is being discovered by a nefarious corporation who wants to harness its powers to make, yes, trillions of dollars from next generation weaponry, all that kind of gubbins. But lo and behold, it's stolen and ends up in the possession of someone who has no interest in being a next generation superhero, super soldier, whatever. In this instance, a very charming but very bumbling Latina 20-something called Jaime Reyes. And I do apologize. I'm not going to do any more pronunciation now because I'll just offend everyone. Whereby the scarab chooses him and they become symbiotic hosts. And yes, everyone, including mustache twirling Susan Sarandon, really doesn't like it. And yes, there's some CG exploding stuff as per usual. And there's end credit stings and all the usual superhero guffins. Now, if you take it on that level, it is, God, it's everything you've seen before. Even some of the superhero, there's even action beats which you are now recognizing. Two overpowered, invulnerable super suits smacking crap out of each other until the plot says, one of eeny, meeny, miny, you lose. They've got powers that are like Green Lantern's ability to conjure any weaponry up that you could imagine. So what do they imagine? An electronic whip, like Whiplash out of Iron Man 2, and a massive sword out of any Japanese video game you've ever seen. It's every single thing you see of this superhero story screams, I've seen that before. But I hear you all cry. How has that scored a 7 after all that rubbish, Mark?
Good engine noises.
Yes, absolutely. But frankly, what it does do, it does two things which surprise me. One is that there's no usual universe ending shenanigans here where, the scope of the world is exponentially more epic than the last film. It's not that at all. It's actually quite a small scale and a fairly personal film for, well, as personal as a superhero CG explodathon can get. But what it does really well is it stuffs it full of charming characters. It gives it I hate to say it because frankly Vin Diesel's ruined the word, but there's a family feel to this. Well, this is a proper family. It's a family. It's a multi-generational family, and it's a family who bicker and they bust each other's balls, but they care for each other. And there's some crazy, insane characters. George Lopez is a conspiracy nut loving uncle. Adriana Barras is an amazing, cute nana who it turns out has a insane revolutionary past. And they all kind of come together with the film focused and built. Instead of having that wrapped around the superhero stuff is wrapped around that. It's actually, there's one bit halfway through, the midpoint, there's a massive big action scene that culminates in, our Blue Beetle is captured by Susan Sarandon flying off in a helicopter. And what would normally happen is, as the camera pans down to the sniveling family there, crying their eyes out, we'd probably follow Sarandon and Beetle to, focus on the superhero part of the story. And we don't. We stay firmly with the family for the next 15, 20 minutes. It gives a very different spin on it. It keeps it personal. It keeps it rooted in character. And these are nice characters. They have really nice dynamics. there's a lightness to it, a joy to it. It cleverly interweaves some of that Latina feel that the culture that the whole thing is built around. And I'm no expert in all of this stuff, but what was interesting is, there's lots of Spanish dialogue that isn't translated. There's very obvious Spanish in jokes that I live in Manchester. I'm a white Manchester guy, and these things are just flying over my head. But it gives it a very unique spin, a very unique flavor. And at the end of the day, I can put all the generic superhero crap to one side, and I just really enjoyed hanging out with those characters for a couple of hours. So, whether or not this is the dying breath of the old order of the DCEU, or whether it truly is the first breath of James Gunn's new universe.
Probably neither.
Yeah, probably. Who knows? If it is the first breath, and there are rumors that Blue Beetle is going to be a recurring character in future films, then actually, as long as we retain that focus and emphasis on character, on dialogue, and it isn't just all about stupid CG plotting, which you've seen time and time again, then I hate to say it, cautiously optimistic for this new dawn of DC. So yeah, I had a really good time with it. I went in with no expectations, was completely taken aback by these disarming and charming characters, and I had a whale of a time. But I can just as easily see people not able to get past the generic superhero-ness of it all. So, go in with no expectations, and I think you'll have a ball with it.
I mean, it hasn't done well. So
it really hasn't.
Yeah, we're not going to see the Beatles. It's going to be one and done for this. But yeah, you have piqued my interest, albeit on
solid streamer.
It's a
solid. Yeah, and it is a shame. But that's I think that's more to do with the current state of cinema.
It is, yeah, almost certainly, and the name. But yes. Either or.
Well, you say that. I mean, no one ever heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, had they?
But I think that the difference is, right, if you were the sort of person who had heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, you'd probably have gone, that could be quite fun. Whereas if you're the sort of person who's heard of Blue Beetle, you're more likely going, what? That Blue Beetle is frequently the butt of the joke in DC Comics. Like he, time and time again, he is fallen on his face as in terms of like success and sales, and has a super devoted but very small following. So it's when I first saw that they were pitching it, I thought, what?
Booster Gold.
Yeah, Booster Gold is next. You know what? Yeah, probably.
I mean, but isn't that just where the DC thinking is at this moment in time? It's just, I mean, where's the rhyme nor reason? Where's the plan for this?
No, it's just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, right?
What they're doing to Aquaman. I mean, good God. What, they're on their fourth round of reshoots or their third round of reshoots with their second Batman, and then there's no Batman in it. I mean, for God's sake, it's just madness. But anyway, forget all that. If you catch Blue Beetle either at the cinema or on streaming, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.